Thank you, Anshu.
So, I will need to go back here to the presentation. Thank you. Then guys, now this is the main activity in which we expect to collect data that allow us to, you can hear me, that in which we expect to collect data that allow us to prove the assumption that we have done so far. Then, for that, we need to collect data from the target population. Besides our research assistant, any of the leads are within the target population. For that, we decided to do a survey, but a survey needs to be tested regarding the time that is necessary to complete it. We need to test if the instructions are clear. We also need to check if there are questions that could be relevant or not relevant that we need to include at the same with answers. If maybe there are some options that we need to remove or we need to answer for those questions. They are not open questions. And if the layout is clear, and also if there are additional comments. Then, for that, we didn't include that activity among the initial proposal. Then we decided to apply to Global Whales Partnership funding, and they decided to support this activity, the organization of this activity here in Chicago and in Cardiff. And this workshop took place last year. It was very similar to this one. I cannot share at the moment the results because that could influence the answer that you can give to the survey now. I can share it afterwards. And the survey was, they also have to submit an expression of interest to participate. We only collect, we don't need to know who says what. What we just need to know is that participants belong to the target population. So there were several questions that were optional. The only compulsory question was, in the expression of interest, the age group, which should have belonged to the target population, and the email to be able to contact them for the invitation and later the reward. Then, this is the survey that you are going to answer today. It's anonymous, I say. We are not interested who says what. And different to the expression of interest that you need to include at least your email, this time we don't even need that. Just you can answer freely. We don't need to know, and we are not collecting any identifiable data. So these are the participants from the activity in Cardiff, those who agree to appear on the pictures. This is not compulsory. And we can start now with the survey. I'm going to explain it. Let's see if I can go back. For those who had the mobile phone, please scan the QR code. Those who are online could also please answer, take the link and start answering. And
I will drop.
Could you please share the link on the chat? Let me see. Can you share it?
I will try. Have you shared the link?
Yeah. this survey, again, the only question that is compulsory the answer is again regarding the age, and you don't need to say your exact age. Is in intervals. So the first thing is you accept or not accept those who are present. You already should have read the participant information sheet and also the consent form, in which we are explaining what we are doing, what we are going to do with the data collected. It's important that you have that to account. In my case, I'm going to say accept. Then this is the range of ages. Usually you are in this range or from this age. Unfortunately, we say thank you, but you don't belong to the target population. So just to demonstrate, I will say, and in this one, gender is optional. You don't need to say that if you don't want. We have several. If you don't want to say, or you have other, or you prefer to self-describe, there is an other options. For me, appear in Spanish because that's my native language. I'm gonna say woman. Now, religion again is optional. We did our best to include all the religions that we are aware, and I did some research which religions are practiced here in US. That could be different to UK, of course. This one or this one could be very British options. So I'm just going to say Catholicism. Now again, ethnic group again is optional. I check which are the ethnic groups more present in US that are different from UK. Also because the wording used is different. Here, black is allowed. That's not possible in UK. Hispanic in Europe, the content of Europe, we are more called Latin than Hispanic. So Hispanic. Amerindian, Alaska, Native, Afro-American, Asian or American. That's for this context. Sometimes I even in UK, when there is no this option, I usually select mixed or multiple ethnic groups. But still, if you prefer not to say or you have a self-definition, please feel free to use it. What is your occupation? Again, it's optional. You don't have to say, if you prefer not to say or have another option, please let us know. I will say work. Now, income group, again, it's optional. You don't need to say. Yes. Prefer not to say. In which kind of place do you live? We have, again, this is optional. I don't know what is not here, but it is optional if you prefer not to say. And from here, this is another compulsory question, is if you use any sort of social media platform. It's compulsory because the project is about that. Then in my case I say yes. Here it's excluded, so you use or you don't use. Which social media platform do you use? Here you can select as many options as you want. In my case I use Blue Sky, I use Facebook, I use Instagram. Sometimes I use Pinterest, but not really. Snapchat, not really. Threads I use. TikTok, no. Twitter or X. Actually, this is something that I forgot to clarify. When I did the presentation, we mentioned Twitter because the data that we used was collected in 2021 when this social media platform was still Twitter, no X. Not is okay. Prefer not to say, again, or other, that maybe we are not aware. Now, which environmental factors make you feel down? It's something that you can select many options as you want. If there is any other that maybe make you feel down and you don't want to, it's not in the list, please select others. Prefer not to say or none is still not, well, none is okay. Prefer not to say, you are free to say that, but it will help us more if you say which one, yes? Now, I will say, for instance, no. Have you been in blue or low spirits in any moment of your life? Well, these are frequency options. Is not compulsory to answer that. This one, we prefer that that you answer that. That it's, what do you do when you are in low spirit? There are two options that are excluded. And this is very important for us. This, which kind of activity do you do when you are in that conditions? This list actually was enriched based on the contribution from participants in Cardiff. We have a shorter list, and they asked us to realize about any other option. So those options: bake, cook, drink, eat tasty food, do exercise, do yoga, go partying, go for a concert, go for coffee, go to the doctor, go for shopping, I do nothing, listen music, meditate, play sports, play video games, pray, sleep, visit friends, visit parents, visit relatives, watch a movie, prefer not to say others. And this is another important question. In this case, I will say prefer not to say, just for to continue. Which places do you visit when you are in low spirit, anxious, or overwhelmed? Then here we make a list of urban facilities like those viewers that you saw on our map: beaches, beauty parlors, clubs, coffee shops, discotheques, friends' home, gardens, gyms, library, medical facilities, parks, parent home, relatives' home, place of worship, according to your religion, pubs, restaurants, malls, sport complex, theaters, books, yoga studios. Prefer not to say other bodies. Maybe I will say others, but then they will give me the option. I will answer prefer not to say, just to continue. And, question 13. I will say I prefer to go out. Thank you very much. So that was the explanation. I hope will be clear. Let me check how is if it's completed.
Yes, we are getting some.
Yes.
We are started getting some confirmation.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you people who are here. Did you finish answering the survey? Okay. Then while the other finish, I'm gonna go up again. So thank you for accepting to participate. Well, this is the population group. I have to say that in Cardiff we have a diversity in the participation from several of the genders. There was not so much discussion about religion. There was also no discussion about the ethnic group. Occupation also not. Income. Income was a question that some of the participants, at least in Cardiff, found a bit uncomfortable. Some of them suggested to remove it, and but some others agreed that it's optional, so you don't need to say it. There was not so much discussion about in which kind of place do you live. Social media platform, most of them use it. Social media platform, honestly we didn't discuss which social media platform was used more or less. Environmental factor, there was no discussion about that. Also not this one. The discussion was more about activities and urban facilities. Why? Those who lead the project, we are not in that target population, and we forgot about the income aspect. And of course, mainly students, their income is very low, so it's not easy for them, or they cannot frequently visit some of these urban facilities because that implies to have some sort of money that not always they have. So there were many suggestions in this list that they come from them. For instance, baking, cooking, that was a suggestion from participants in Cardiff. Other suggestion was visit friends, we didn't consider, visit relatives, and play video games. We have to admit that we didn't initially include it, and they suggest that. The other is that initially, when I planned this survey, my idea is those who stay at home shouldn't be part of the survey. But thanks to suggestion from another member, I still keep the option, and it was good because we realized that not people in the target population don't have many income, so they have to either stay at home or go to the home of friends or classmates. And the other point then that makes also important student accommodation, an important urban facility to map. So here we include several facilities that implies that you don't need to spend some money to go there. Some of the participants consider that the fact to plan a travel or to go out was also stressing, considering time and considering money. So that's why they either prefer to visit their friends or either prefer to stay at home and do those activities like play video games. That doesn't imply that you need to spend money. Well, video games are expensive. I mean, the consola but it's not something that you have to pay anytime. Well, at least another word, anytime that you play. I understand that maybe some games, yes. So these are the options that we consider and we extend based on the experience in Cardiff. I would like to know if from the participants here there is something that you consider that should be added, that should be removed, or regarding optional answers and to questions. So let me know. Or I'm not sure, in the chat, those who are in the chat, please let us know. I don't know if maybe Marco or Gately or Anwish, or if everything is okay. Or do you have any suggestion?
Can they only be fields that are related to where you live? Can they only be fields that are related to where you live? Because I mean, if you're happy or not or whatever, it also depends on personal things that has maybe nothing to do to where you live. So, but of course, if we're trying to find out data on census tracts, then we can only consider those aspects, maybe those features, and not personal features other than those. So my question is, does it make sense to include personal features? I don't know, maybe in one building there can be 2 floors. My floor can be the happiest, and the floor below me can be they can be all like sad or whatever, depending on just personal things. Not. So my question is it only related to features that are about the area where you live, and not related to your personal, what happens in your personal life? Because it has a great impact on how you feel, right? It's not only where you live, but also what you're experiencing as a person.
Thank you, Marco. Yeah, but then in this sense, we need to consider the individual situation. Yes, that will be difficult, but that's why we are piloting a survey. Yes, it's just a test. Then we can make a big survey, and then of course we need to check which are the frequent answers. and then we need to go for the most frequent answers. But yes, you are talking about the personal situation that maybe two individuals are in the same neighbor or in the same building, and one person feels great based on their personal background, and another person feels miserable, yes, also based on the personal background. But that's why the idea is that the survey cover a large amount of population to see what is the most frequent answer. Yeah. But there is something, what you say is important, because yes, now that we realize that student accommodations are important facilities for people in this young age, we can also check what is around, yes, and what aspects around student accommodation can influence, good or bad, the mental health of those who live there. Thank you. I'm not sure if Gately or Anwish will to say something. Okay. If no one else, I'm not sure. Anwish, there is something in the chat?
No,
No?
people are just updating they have completed the survey. There is a question regarding the getting the compensation or the gift card.
Yes. Guys, you will receive your gift card. Maybe not exactly today, but in this week, yes. And it will be related to those who complete the survey in a way to thank you for your time and your contribution. And for those who are present, so besides the lunch and besides the coffee break and the breakfast, later we have lunch. So for those who are here, are welcome. For those who are in the chat and maybe are around downtown, they are also welcome. Their names and their email address and in the reception if you want to join us for that. And yeah, if there is any other comment that you want to say or you prefer to share it privately, feel free to write me. Any suggestion for improve the survey are welcome. Thank you. So, Anush.
That's all. Thank you, Dinah, and thank you all for participating into the survey. All the participants who are here and on the Zoom.